Well, sir, it's not just what I read in the newspaper, and you said they violated the law. The other issue is you're seeking a promotion, I think we could all agree, and a judge found you violated the law. And so that raises the question of why do you want to go to the Senate and write laws if you wouldn't follow a judge's orders to uphold them?
A judge found me guilty of a misdemeanor, and I'm not going to go into the politics of that.
Let me ask you another important question, because you brought up this unusual but lawful pardon that you received from the president. As you know, when you take a pardon, you're admitting guilt. Why did you take that pardon and admit guilt?
I didn't admit guilt. I said I was not guilty, and I say it today.
But you accepted the pardon, and you know under the law that is an admission of guilt.
No, I don't know about that. You have to talk to the legal scholars about that.
Let me talk to you, and I'll give you, sir, let me talk to you, and I'll give you a chance to respond. Supreme Court verdict v. United States. This is the Supreme Court talking. It's their view that is the law, not anyone's opinion, mine or yours. And they say, quote, a pardon implies guilt and acceptance of a confession of it. Do you understand that that's the legal implication of what you did by accepting that pardon?
The president, I'm not a lawyer, thank God, but the president can make any decision he wants on a pardon. And I'm not going to argue about what your decision is. I'm sure his lawyers have reviewed it.
Well, sir, but let's not hide behind lawyers. This is pretty basic. I think the viewers can exactly understand what's going on. If someone, I'm not even going to say you, but if someone were offered a pardon for a murder they didn't commit, their first response might be, I didn't do it. I don't need a pardon for that murder. You do understand, under Supreme Court law, and as a sheriff, you may not be a lawyer, but you are obligated to uphold the law, and you're running for the Senate now to write the laws, that's what that means, and you accepted that pardon.
This is I'm not going to get into the law again. This was a misdemeanor, the same as a barking dog as far as the time is concerned. A contempt of court, which was very unusual to begin with. So I'm not going to argue that. I'm telling you that I'm not guilty of that. I believe we were doing some type of appeal on that pardon. We're not appealing a pardon, but we're doing an appeal on someone on the conviction. I was found guilty by a judge who refused to give me a jury trial, and announced my guilty verdict on a misdemeanor without even taking me into court. I had to hear about it in the media. So there's a lot of other things.
Do you understand how that sounds, sir? And I want to give you a chance to respond. But do you understand that when you come here and you talk about the due process rights that you feel you may not have been afforded, you just said you didn't like the way you found out about it from the judge. But at the beginning of this discussion, you came on here and said, tough if these detainees, who, by the way, some of them had not been convicted of anything or held in contempt of anything, unlike yourself, you said tough. Do you see how that's an issue if you want to be a senator and people have to assess the record? That it sounds a little bit like you want differential treatment, sir?
Well, come on, that's not true. What do you mean I use the word tough, so what? So I have been tough on crime for 58 years. I never had any problems.
But you didn't like it when the judge is tough on you, you're saying?
Well, what do you mean tough on me? Yeah, I don't like the way the trial occurred, but I'm not going to get, you know what? I don't want to talk about that because we're still in an appeal process.
Understood.
So
I have to put one more fact on the record, sir, and then I will move on to other topics. This is not the only thing you're on for, but we have to go through the facts and the receipts. That's something we do here. You mentioned the appeal, but it was the senior federal judge, Susan Bolton, in your case, who said, quote, the pardon undoubtedly spared